Hello, everyone. Mr. Nobody here, bringing you a short reading from Making Nobody Happy. And this is something that has been dear to my heart, but has been hard to talk about. Basically, I would say there is a time and a place for being a disagreeable person. And sometimes we can forget that. And I am someone who does not like conflict. I am someone who does not like to use really strong or aggressive language. I naturally retreat from it. But something that I have had to learn, especially in regard to modern media, the sorts of stories that get put out there, the narratives, the things that people say, there's a time when you have to stop and say, I'm not going to play that game. I'm not going to join you in your corrupt game with your corrupt players. I'm not going to play that. Go to hell. And I think these days you actually need that quality because you just can't assume that you're not going to be pulled into ridiculous games and ridiculous situations. And you do need to be able to just stand up to them and say, no, I'm not going to be part of this. So here's the reading. It's Commercial Moralism and a little bit about Ghostbusters 2016. That's not what it's really about, but I think that's a good example because it was an example of how a certain trend developed, particularly with properties and franchises and media. It became a media strategy. So the problem with this movie wasn't that people disliked it because the actors were women. It was that people said that if you disliked it, it was because they were women. And that created some fundamental tension. The actors chosen were marketed on the basis of being women. So when people weren't impressed, that didn't just reflect on the movie, it reflected on its identity as a movie with women. The studio was trying to blackmail fans morally into supporting the movie just because it had women in it. Like this goofy commercialized comedy and shameless attempt at franchise development was some blow for feminism. So they marketed it as if it was some blow for feminism and any criticism of it as an attack on feminism. It had a deliberately political identity, so responses to it could be interpreted politically as well. Not that some of them weren't, but by and large, that is not what they were. When people said the movie looked kind of dumb and bland and canned, they weren't just criticizing a movie, they were criticizing a moral stance. And it wasn't Sony they were hurting, it was women. To which I say, you, Sony, stop trying to profit off moralism and division, which they deliberately stoked. If you make good movies, people will see them on their own cinematic, not political merits. Sell the product, not my moral or obligations toward the product. And I would like to extend that comment to all the other companies trying to use moralism to sell me financial services and towels and soap and outdoor gear and home goods. Off. If you have a good product, I'm interested. But don't try to sell me guilt or relief from guilt or moral or historical status. I am so tired of commercials that say, use our bank, you sexist pig, and maybe you'll be less of a piece of and be pure and holy like us. Financial services with some blessing and indulgences on the side, member FDIC. Every time I see someone trying to sell me guilt or forgiveness and trying to use that to push their product on me, I just instantly write them off. Somehow, I don't think that their heart is really in the right place. Nor do I think my soap or lotion company is really qualified to answer the deep existential questions about my value as a human and place in society. So please politely, off. Dove, Sony, and all your cronies. No, I don't want to fight the Nazis or the Reds with my damn soap. Just make a decent product. And if it's good at what it's supposed to do, I'll buy it. And I'll keep my morals to myself and to more qualified institutions to deal with. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.